ready. This is going to be exciting.
Here the Geico restart zone we go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
We are live from Laguna Seca Raceway for race 11 of multi-class racing on the West Coast. The best drivers in GLR are here right now and about to test the limits of the central coast of California at the famous and infamous scenic location. This is the Goat Locker Sports Car Series presented by MK Fire Design right here on V-Speed, your #1 source of online coverage. I'm Ken Huber, and alongside me, as always, I got Jacob Lenke. Bobby Bender is on production tonight, and the cameras are being provided by Dougie Beard. Well, welcome back, Jacob. We had a nice little 2-week break there, and now we're here in the desert of California to watch some more multi-class racing on this tiny little track.
Yes, it is 2/3 of the way through the season. Every other series almost is in the playoffs, but we don't have playoffs in this one. It's just a flat points. And why don't you take us through the midway point of our American stretch?
Well, right here, we're at Laguna Seca WeatherTech. You can see it there up on your screen, 2.23 miles in distance. And this track it's really fun. It's really difficult. And they're out here in the heat right now. This is on the west coast of Central California, so it doesn't get super hot, but the track does, and there's a lot of sand on this track. And so these drivers are going to have to be very careful navigating down the big front stretch. It goes into turn 1. You see it there. And then they'll navigate around the Andretti hairpin and around that corner. They have to be careful. It's kind of a double apex to get through there. They have to be careful getting the power down. Then they'll go through 3 and 4 and then 5, which are difficult corners in themselves with all the sand on the track. But then they got a real tricky corner, and that's turn number 6. I'm sure you'll agree with me there, Jacob. It's a quick little kink in the racetrack to the left, and there's a big sausage curve there, and you got to be careful of getting your timing right when you hit that corner. And then you'll head uphill towards the famous or infamous corkscrew.
Yep, that corkscrew is going to take you all the way back down the track, and that'll put you down toward Rainey, which it's a left-hander into another. It's another right-hander down toward turn 11. Turn 11 going to be very reminiscent of a track like Bathurst, where you got that slow, like that long braking zone that turns you to that left-hander all the way back down to the front stretch. And you mentioned that there's a lot of sand in the area. There's a lot of gravel on track because a lot of people have been having some trouble with this one tonight.
Yeah, we've been watching them during practice. A lot of drivers out there struggling both with the gravel on the track and the hot temperatures that are on this racetrack today. But, and the other thing is this track is, fairly small, only being 2.23 miles, and we're going to be doing multi-class. It's not that it's unheard of at Laguna Seca, but it just adds to that difficulty level that these guys are going to be experiencing here tonight.
Yes,
And another thing, this track, it's got a couple of fast places on here. You got the straightaway by the start finish line, and then you also got Rehal Straight, which is it's an uphill portion of the track, but for the most part, you're off the throttle and just coasting the car, so you get really good fuel mileage here. And so, while I'm suspecting that the GT3 cars will probably be able to go 45, maybe even 50 minutes, so definitely a one-stop for them. And even with the GTPs, the prototypes, I only foresee them only having to do one stop here tonight, which is, Jacob, on these hour-long races, it's kind of iffy with whether those prototypes are going to make it on one stop or not.
Yep, strategy going to be a big factor with the result of this one. Speaking of results, We're getting toward the end of qualifying, and it doesn't look like very many other people are on track.
No, I think with qualifying is just about ready to wrap up. Something else we could talk about though, really quick, while we got about 45 seconds before we start the grid here. But we've got the battle for the championship. So this is a straight points race. All our other series in Goat Locker racing, are pretty much set by what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? The playoff racing, and we don't have that here in road course. It's strictly points based. And right now, atop the prototype field, it's Reagan Carty. He's just been so dominant, wins just about every race. He didn't win last week. We had a newcomer to the season, and that was Hector. God, I'm missing names right now. Oh, Hector
Colazo.
Colazo, that's right. Hector Colazo won last week in his debut, but right now it's Reagan Carty's championship to lose here. But on the GT3 field, though, Jacob, there is a little bit more action happening down in that area of the wood.
Yes, indeed. Austin Cobb has your points lead right now. However, it doesn't look like he's in the field tonight, and his closest competitor, Joshua Jackson, is going to be able to make up a lot of points toward the front spot, as I believe we're done with qualifying and we're getting ready to grid, Ken.
Yeah, so let's talk about our Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award winner. Since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed to printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker since the very beginning, local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. And our Pole Award winner, there you see it there, Hector Colazo, will start there on the inside with Reagan Carty, our championship leader, on the outside. Wesley Burke will start the 04 machine in the third position with Samuel Yosef on his outside in fourth. Jamie Lipke, P5, and on her outside will be Brandon McDonald, another one of those strong competitors out there. Jason Kristen will start in P7, and Bill Mofield will be on his outside in the 392 machine in the 8th position. And then Tyler Justice rounds out the last prototype on the field in P9.
And for the GT3 is a pair of newcomers. Matt O'Donohue takes a pole with a 122.5. To his outside is going to be Severi Kallio from Finland, going to be locking out that second row. Joshua Jackson is going to be in P3. Timbo Parker, another hard competitor, in P4. Chase Barkus puts his car in P5. Timothy Wilms, another car looking to benefit from some of our leaders not being here tonight, starting in P6. Jacob Ellingson rolling off in that Mustang in P7. Seth Lee, another newcomer, in P8. Brandon Ribeiro puts it P9 after not setting a time. Alexander Sexauer, P10. Brock Price in the Audi in the 45, P11. And our final GT3 in the 12-car field will be Eric Jordan.
Well, our parade car is leading them down. This is a short parade lap, so we are going to be turning them loose here momentarily. They only got one more corner, and then there's always that nerve-wracking feeling they're going to really good season. We're going to go back and take a look at this thing. So this is at turn 6 right here, and this is where you got to be very careful and getting your timing right. Makes it through there, so it looks like this incident happens up here at the corkscrew. Remember that these tires are still cold on these cars. Yeah, sends it in there really deep, and was able to check up, but then it just sends the rear end of that car around. So maybe just a little bit. Yeah, we need to go back to the V-Speed instant replay here. Coming down the corkscrew, it looks like. And no issues there. Hey, oh, and then, yeah, just right at the pit entry lane there. That was a weird place to spin. all season long.
And watching Collazo through the corkscrew, Jason Kristen loses it, trying to get back in behind the two, and he opts to just let it. I want to say maybe 3 to 4 seconds from the lead to second place early on. And Jamie Lipke, taking a look at him right now going into one, they're able to rotate through the corner, just loses it on exit, and that lets McDonald by for the top 5.
Yeah.
He comes up. Oh, he might have lost it earlier on in the lap and just blew it even worse, trying to keep that position under braking. And that has allowed Reagan Carty to just step out.
Timbo Parker.
We saw this all through practice for the most part. Ends up getting a little too far inside on the corkscrew, and then just through the chute, tries to catch it on exit, and he just I believe he catches that sausage curve and loops it right through there. Might have some floor damage. He contests with, oh my goodness, Alexander Sexauer just nearly got clipped by McDonald, and I think that sent him off into the far barrier.
Early into this, but something must have happened to Reagan Carty and put him back. Not really sure, but Reagan Carty now almost 6 seconds behind our leader, Hector Collazo, once again. So lots of drama out here at WeatherTech Raceway. There we go. We're looking at the replay here as we go uphill towards the corkscrew. Blind corner. You can't see nothing when he gets to the top here. Comes down, trying to get the arm. You just see it, and he just catches a little bit of that gravel there on the side and sends the rear end of that car around. Should be able to make it to the end of this race now, provided nothing else happens to Alexander out there. But like I said, to go back and see exactly what happened. But this is as we're going uphill towards the corkscrew. You're looking at Sammy Yosef in that white prototype. Brendan McDonald now is trying to figure out a way to get by these. He doesn't want to let Samuel Yosef by. Tries to cut the corner there, gets off on the sand, and just nowhere for the leader to go there. So Matt O'Donohue hits him, takes off the front end of that Mercedes. And like I said, the rear else with that O'Donohue did. He did that was a very rough pit lane entrance. He's going to give up a bunch of time on that pit lane entrance. You could pretty much, when you hit your braking zone, he almost came to a stop well before he needed to for this braking zone into the pit lane. It is kind of a little bit tricky. You can get buried into the wall there if you're not careful, but man, he gave up a lot of time on his pit road entry. So that combined with the damage, I think he, as long as Kallio can get a good pit stop here, he's going to have some time to make up.
Yep. Timbo Parker ends up getting past O'Donohue as he's in the pits now. That's another car further up. Joshua Jackson up past, and he has taken, he has had a pit stop as well, but that might have been a little bit further, that might have been a little bit earlier. Looking at it, Jackson pitted a couple minutes ago. He is on his second lap on the stop. So Kallio, Parker, Timothy Wilms have not pitted yet. Seth Lee is on the pit lane. And that is going to be the end of the GT3s that are currently running in that lead group. So there's only a few left, and O'Donohue is up and away. He's going to have to try and track down those leaders again as we're watching another battle on track for the GTPs with Samuel Yosef on Wesley Burke.
Yeah, Wesley Burke, we watched Wesley just exit pit lane there. Samuel now going by. Did Samuel pit? No, so Samuel hasn't pitted yet. So Yosef will have to make his pit stop eventually here. Out there, probably one of the longest drivers. Our leader pitted last time by. So Hector's been in the pit. So Samuel Yosef is the only prototype out there who is yet to pit. Wesley Burke is on their first lap. So yeah, as we watch that exit. So Samuel is going to end up giving up that position back to Wesley Burke probably this time by, I would imagine. Nope. Samuel's staying out.
He's going to continue to run this as far as he can, getting toward 2/3 the way done with this race. 24 minutes remaining. Watching as Wesley Burke holds on to that third spot on the podium. Biggest mover in the field right now by sheer attrition. Bill Mulfield is going to inherit a podium place likely if Yosef decides to take it down the pit lane.
Yeah, and we've seen Mulfield closing in on Yosef early before this pit cycle started, as we're currently watching Wesley Burke navigate his way around some traffic here. I'll tell you what, we got some other cool sponsors within the league we haven't talked about. How about the GLR web store? You know anything about them, Jacob?
Yes, I do. Support the sport and the mission with the Goat Locker Racing at the GLRwebstore.com. You'll find quality racing apparel, hats, and gear, and every purchase supports veterans, active military, and first responders. Your order also helps fuel our mission and fight back against mental health challenges facing our community. Great gear, real purpose. Visit GLRwebstore.com. We got a QR code up there, and we just have a few selections of what is available. I know a lot of people love that GLR hat that's been going around.
Got one. I'm wearing it right now. There's watching Sammy Yosef just headed to pit lane. So Sammy Yosef, the last of the GTPs to make that fuel stop. But yeah, I got my hat on and my dog tags. I don't have my dog tags. I don't want to be that much of a geek. But yeah, they got some cool stuff on there. And get it while it's there, guys.
Sorry, I just got caught off guard. Didn't think it'd be hearing somebody wearing their dog tags.
I didn't think so either.
That is
but
funny stuff.
They had dog tags when I went to the web store. When I got my hat, and I was like, you know what, those are kind of cool. So I bought the dog tags and I got them on my display rack. But I thought the dog tags were kind of a nice little touch.
Yeah, it's good to have something like that, and you can like either put them on your keychain, or you can, if you're still active, you can put them on your dog tags and then have people ask about them later when you're presenting them for inspections or what have you. But we have our leaders from the GT3s on pit road, Severi Kallio and Timbo Parker on pit road. Last car still on track that hasn't pit yet is Timothy Wilms running in 5th, the GT3s. This is going to give O'Donohue a chance to catch back up to the field.
Well, this is what I want to see here, how Kallio comes out with O'Donohue coming. So O'Donohue had that incident, had a lot of damage on the car. He needed to get a quick repair. And then he had just a bad pit lane entry. And I just want to see the time difference as we're watching Severi Kallio come down off pit lane, making his way on the racetrack. just looking where Joshua Jackson, and Joshua Jackson now coming into turn 1. So going to end up there with quite a ways back. So O'Donohue now in the 3rd position, even behind Joshua Jackson. So just gave up a ton of time there. So trying to hang on to a podium at this point right now. Going to have to do some strong running here with only 20 minutes to go to catch up to Joshua Jackson, who's currently leading this thing. Is that right?
Yes,
Did I see that right?
He is.
How did that happen?
Well, Callio must have had either a bad entry or exit trying to get into the pit lane. It looked like he spent a lot more time in the box than Joshua Jackson did for his pit stop. 21.6 in the box, 44.3 to Joshua Jackson's total time of 39.2. Might have just taken, maybe just tried to play a little bit more strategy, put less fuel in it from running longer.
Yeah, I'm just fascinated that Joshua Jackson is ahead there. But Joshua Jackson, a strong driver, won the first race of the season, but now he finds himself on point right now, trying to win this thing with only 20 minutes to go. And he's actually been really solid. We haven't seen too much out of him. Of course, I say that I haven't seen too many problems out of Severi Kallio either. But that's just a ton of time to lose on pit lane there, 5 seconds. So whatever Joshua Jackson did, those other guys need to have any hope to try to run that portion down.
That bee is flying out there. It was a little bit further back on Kallio earlier, but he has gapped it out 5.2 seconds and extending his lead right now. He has been solid all day. He hasn't had any issues, and that is, this is the biggest thing he can show for it. He is starting to put a gap on the P2 position. I'm
starting to wonder, I'm thinking that he didn't take tires. So, you know, the thing about it is it takes about 14 seconds to take tires. And if you take tires, it's also going to slow you down, trying to get them warmed up and things like that. My suspicion is that he didn't take tires, and he didn't need over 14 seconds of fuel. He only probably needed maybe 10 seconds of fuel. So he did a double whammy there. Probably saved 4 seconds on pit lane, didn't take tires, and he doesn't have to warm them up. Now, of course, that's going to cost him later in the run. However, he's got such a gap. It might take a while for Severi to get those tires warmed up and try to track down Joshua Jackson. I think Joshua Jackson just did another one of those great strategy calls that we've seen him do early this season, such as Fuji. So might be Joshua Jackson's race to lose at this point.
Well, we know how this has ended a few more times that we've seen in the past. Don't want to say it too much, but he is currently still sitting out at a 5-second lead over Kallio in P2. O'Donohue has collected it for the P3 spot in the GT3s, and Chase Marcus is stopped on track. Oh, Seca.
Oh, the front bumper came off that Corvette and then came back on there. So you know there's a lot of damage on that Corvette, and I think, yeah, he's towed it to pit lane, and I'm not sure if he's going to get back out there tonight, but tough break for Chase Marcus.
Yep, a rough end to a great run, running in the top 5 for a majority of the race up until the pit cycle. And has just been caught completely blindsided by that incident there. Taking a look at the P3 car. Now, we haven't seen him a lot with his front bumper on recently. A little over a quarter of the race left, 17 and a half minutes on the timer to try and catch up to Severi Kallio and by extension Joshua Jackson. And O'Donohue has been slowly and methodically closing on the P2 car, caught up about a second and a half from the end of that pit cycle.
Yeah, O'Donohue was the guy that set the pace in the GT3 field at the start of this race, and after he had that contact with the prototype car, has just been struggling. I think that was Brendan McDonald that he had the contact with in the corkscrew. Had the damage, had a very bad pit stop, and then finds himself in third, trying to chase down second. He is running him down 2.7 currently. I think he's running him down about 2 seconds per lap. But I got to tell you, Joshua Jackson has opened it up to 8.4 over them both. So Joshua Jackson really stepping up the pace at the moment. But, you know, part of the reason might be is Joshua Jackson might have a really good PC, such as the PCs you can get from Alexander PCs. Alexander's PCs is a custom and gaming PC builder who has been building and modding systems since 2002. They are veteran-owned and operated family business, and all of the team members support. All the team members support and production are U.S. based. All desktop PCs come with an industry-leading best time, lifetime limited warranty, service guarantee. Work, play, conquer. Alexander PCs. We're very happy to have them on board here at Goat Locker Racing. And like I said, you don't have to know really anything about PCs. You tell these guys, you call them up, you give them a call, say, hey, this is what I want to do with my PC. This is the type of game I want to run. I want to run iRacing. I want to play Battlefield. I want to do this. They'll get you spec'd out for a proper PC that'll be good for many years to come.
Yep, couldn't have segued it better myself. As we're taking a look again, Samuel Joseph, probably the biggest benefit of the race to this point when Reagan Carty went off is he didn't have to catch up to anybody to try and get that third spot back. He is 44 seconds back on Wesley Burke, and Bill Mulfield is 28 seconds behind him so far. So Joseph is still looking at a podium position tonight.
Yeah, it'd be exciting if we can get Bill up here, but Wesley Burke too, another one of those drivers we haven't seen too much here in the road course series, but Wesley Burke having a solid night out there, running second there. Some pretty stiff competition, although Wesley's about 50 seconds behind our leader of Hector, and Hector has had a couple of problems out there tonight, so it just shows you how fast that driver is. But Wesley Burke showing that he can bring it home for a podium finish as well. I maybe shouldn't jump the gun on that though, because this race ain't over, but he's definitely working hard to stay up there and to claim that second spot. And of course, if anything happens to Hector, he's kind of in the catbird seat.
And one of the things that we have seen time and time again tonight are issues on track, whether it be going through certain parts of the track, catching those curbs just the wrong way and sending your car around regardless of where you are, or getting caught up in that lap traffic. We've had a lot of cars end up calling it a night. We have Chase Barkas ended up parking it, Alexander Sexauer, Reagan Carty, and Brendan McDonald and Jason Kristen from the GTPs, and Jacob Ellingson called it earlier on. So we have 6 cars that have called it quits tonight, and that leaves 5 cars in the GTP class and only 8 GT3s left running.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a war of attrition out there tonight. I just took a gander back at the GT3 drivers, looking at Joshua Jackson currently leading in the GT3s. I will say that those tires are probably starting to give up. I think both Brennan O'Donohue and Severi Kallio, I think they got their tires warmed up because they are starting to track down our leader. Now that gap has shrunk down to almost a little over 4 seconds. So, but we got 13 and a half minutes left in this race, and Joshua Jackson, like I said, I don't know this for sure, but I believe Joshua Jackson out there on older tires is going to have to just do his best and hit his marks. And, he's going to see those guys probably start to run him down, but as long as he stays focused on what's in front of him, and like I said, try to stay out of the prototype's way when they come by, he's got a good chance here. But I can tell you, Severi is really coming.
Yep, and the thing that Joshua Jackson needs to do right now is minimize those mistakes. We just watched him drop a half second off through this sector. He just needs to watch that relative and be mindful, because O'Donohue is catching Kallio. Last time we took a look at it, it was about 2.5, 2.6 seconds. It's down to 1.8 right now, and he is going to be catching Kallio before Kallio can track down Jackson. So he's going to want those two to fight between each other first.
Exactly. That's probably what he was hoping that would happen, is what I'd be hoping to happen. Those two guys get to battling and kind of leave me out of it. But that gap is shrinking, and judging by how fast it's shrinking, I think we could have all 3 of these cars kind of nose to tail at the end of this thing. It could get really exciting here.
Yes, it is in Goat Locker fashion. Took a little bit too much on the exit there, and you're starting to see that is Severi Kallio just peeking into the back of frame there, making that exit 3 seconds back now off of Joshua Jackson. And Kallio has pulled a little bit more of a gap on O'Donohue by 0.3 of a second, as both of those cars are still trying to track down that 70 before we get to the end of this one. But they are running out of time as we got less than 12 minutes left on the clock. No
matter what happens in this race for Joshua Jackson, I like his strategy, because he was slightly fallen back between these other two that are just behind him now, and doing that pit strategy. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, he had nothing to lose. It isn't going to change anything. He's still going to get a podium out of this, but right now, he's going to try to win this thing. A little over 11 minutes left in this thing, and you can see those two cars closing in quick. So it's about to get exciting. We watch Joshua Jackson head up the hill into that line corkscrew, come up the hill here. This is kind of just an exciting corner. You come in here, you just can't see anything, and it's all about timing, and it's all about practice and knowing where to put that car. But and he's out there on those old tires probably, and we got a track temperature of nearly 120 degrees. So he's fighting old tires on a very hot track with two guys probably on fresh tires that are doing their best to try to run him down.
See, the thing that I'm worried about right now is how did the guy with the broom know that he was clear to go out there and brush all that gravel out of the corkscrew? Because there was a lot over there from the issues with the GTPs we saw earlier. There have been people missing it all night and sending sand and gravel all over the place. And when we watched Joshua Jackson go through there, it was completely clean.
Yeah, well, these tires, they do pick up the debris on the track, so they're very sticky. So I guess that's going to be my excuse, but I don't know. Maybe they just got a really brave broom man out there as well. So maybe Brennan McDonald went out there with the broom because he felt bad for some of the sand he's put out there tonight and swept it up. Who knows? But it's cleaned up now, so maybe we'll keep the track clean for the finish of this race.
Maybe. Within 10 minutes left, and Hector Collazo has once again stepped out to a massive lead. He's got 52 seconds over Wesley Burke in the GTP class, and we are likely going to have another interview here soon with him. But the GT3 is once again starting to put on the better show at the end of this race. Now we got Kallio in the picture once again, almost within a second of Joshua Jackson. He's running out of time.
Yeah, he is, and he's definitely there. You can probably smell the blood in the water because he really ran him down in just a couple of laps. Really ate into that 4-second lead that Joshua Jackson had. So Joshua's going to have to do his best bit of defensive driving here to try to hold him off. That play where we were hoping he was hoping that Matt O'Donohue would kind of get to battling with Severy. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. It looks like Joshua Jackson's going to have to battle Severy first, and that's probably going to allow Matt O'Donohue to roll into the picture even faster as well. But that Mercedes has definitely run down that Porsche now, just a little less than a second, headed up here towards the kink. And Joshua Jackson's going to have to put on his best driving that he's done all night long to try to defend that position.
With that closing rate, there may not even be a battle if Kallio can get the right move done at the right time. He'll just blow right by Jackson as he is closed up almost 0.3 of a second between the two of them, and he is on his bumper down through the corkscrew within half a second.
And we also have a prototype of Sammy Yosef coming into this picture too that could affect things here depending on where he catches him. It looks like Samuel's actually going to catch him on the front stretch here, so I don't think Samuel's going to have an impact with these two guys racing. But this is where Joshua Jackson needs a really good exit here. Doesn't want to open up any ground here on these straightaways, so controlling those exits are going to be the most important thing that Joshua Jackson can do here. And it looks like Samuel's going to get by. He's going to cover that position. And that allowed, so Sammy Yosef being there, that just opened the door for Severy to get by. Now it's going to put but Jackson's still on the inside. Might have a little bit of advantage here.
Oh,
and
no!
Severy goes around. I think they connected a little bit.
Might have been contact with Joshua Jackson through the middle of the corner there, and that allows Matt O'Donohue to get through for second.
We're going to go back at the V-Speed instant replay and see exactly what happened here. So you see Sammy Yosef get by these guys, and yeah, there's a little bit of contact. It wasn't hard, but Sammy Yosef trying to hang on to that inside groove. He knew that was the advantage on that side. Taking another, I didn't even see any contact there unless it was netcode, but yeah, I didn't even really see any contact there. It looks like there was about a foot between those two cars.
It looked like there was a door bang as we're watching Kallio try to get it back up and going to catch Matt O'Donohue once again. He's 1.7 back on O'Donoghue. O'Donoghue's slowly trying to catch back up to Jackson as well, as they got 6.5 minutes to try and make this move.
Well, I got to tell you, the way that Severy ran down Joshua Jackson, now it's O'Donoghue's turn to try to run down that Porsche of Joshua Jackson. And I think, again, we might see these two cars close up by the end of this thing, just gained another couple tenths there. But we're watching the other Mercedes here of O'Donoghue try to now make an attempt on Joshua Jackson in the closing minutes of this race.
It is, once again, I keep using this term, all to play for. These gaps with the GT3s have been the closest at the end of the races for the entire season. And right now is no different. The closest gap on track is Severi Kallio to the back of Matt O'Donoghue, now closing within a second and a half to the GT3 as we just watched, I think that was Samuel Joseph off track just ahead of him.
It was. Samuel had a little incident there, and now he's going to catch back up to Joshua Jackson there. And Joshua Jackson just doesn't want to see that he has to deal with another prototype once again. See Samuel going through Samuel Joseph having all kinds of struggles out there right now. He's going to hold up O'Donoghue. So O'Donoghue now gets held up by that prototype. And that's a very costly mistake there for Samuel Joseph. And it looks like Joseph is going to catch Joshua Jackson here on the straightaway, exactly where you. I don't know what's going on with Sammy Joseph, but he is all over the place right now. I don't know if he's burned up those tires on that machine. He might not have taken any tires, and it's just out of tires right now.
Well, it has gone from bad to worse in the battle of the GT3s. Matt O'Donoghue, the second place runner. Black flag for incidents with 5 minutes remaining. He is going to have to serve that, and that will likely drop him out of the podium in favor of Timbo Parker.
Wow, what an incredible turn of events. So, led the first half of this race, now finding himself, maybe he's going to be lucky to even hang on to a podium and have to serve that black flag there. Joshua Jackson now led Sammy Joseph by once again, but the way Sammy Joseph is driving that car, I don't know, it looks like Samuel's in all kinds of trouble just trying to hang on to that prototype. I don't know what's going on.
Jackson letting by Wesley Burke, and this gap to the lead GT3 has closed. O'Donoghue has to serve that penalty, but he is now within a second of Joshua Jackson. Kallio's within a half second of him.
We're about to see. Well, here's the entrance to pit road. We'll see if he goes on the pit lane. So if he's going to stay out, maybe, he stays out another lap. So don't know what's going on there. I guess he's not ready to serve that penalty yet. But these three cars are all within a car length. They're 2 car lengths of each other right now as we get to the end of this thing with 3.5 minutes to go.
It keeps happening, man. These GT3s at the end of this race always put on the best fight when it comes to the gap at the end of it. Severi Kallio, Matt O'Donoghue, Joshua Jackson, all within almost a second of each other now, as Kallio's starting to close on the back bumper of O'Donoghue. Watching from O'Donoghue, this is the closest he has been to Joshua Jackson on this run.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, with O'Donoghue now having to serve a black flag penalty, that's going to probably hold up Severi. And Severi, if he knows that O'Donoghue's got that black flag, he's like, hey, man, get out of the way. You have no chance at this thing. And right now you're holding my chances up from taking a win away from Joshua Jackson at the moment. So as they come up the hill here and headed into the corkscrew here and downhill, Joshua Jackson's going to hang on to this. It looks like O'Donoghue taking a peek there on the outside, coming downhill here. O'Donoghue got the advantage on the inside. That's going to slow up Joshua Jackson, maybe put him in jeopardy there for Severi just behind him there. And it looks like Joshua Jackson hangs on here. O'Donoghue stays out another lap.
He is going to have to serve that penalty sooner or later. Contact with the lead car, Joshua Jackson. Severi Kallio looking to the back bumper of Matt O'Donoghue, pushing him past Joshua Jackson. Severi has to know he's got that penalty, and he's pushed himself ahead. Just to the inside of O'Donoghue. To the inside, makes that move. Joshua Jackson now trying to look back to the inside, move Kallio up to the front. Matt O'Donoghue to second. Oh, another move. Matt O'Donoghue still not giving up side by side with the fin going down into the hairpin.
Absolutely insane. O'Donoghue now on the inside. trying to get the advantage here, try to clear that position. He does as they go into the turn 5 here. You see Severi backs it down. Joshua Jackson now on the back end of Severi. Now you got the kink coming up here. They got the prototype of our leader, Hector Collazo, just behind them. This will, next time by, will be the white flag lap for Hector. You can see Hector going by in the prototype, and he's going to catch our leader right now with the black flag right at the top of the hill, coming down in the corkscrew. So all kinds of drama here at the end of the race.
Yeah, everybody lined up single file. Now Hector looking to the inside as O'Donohue sweeps out, keeping his Mercedes up ahead, and he dives it into the pit lane to serve that penalty now. Able to get it turned in, was trying to keep it ahead as long as he could, but Joshua Jackson going to have it behind Severi Callio on the front stretch as everybody takes that flag toward the end of this one.
Yeah, our glove station white flag is out for Hector Collazo, currently leading this thing by hefty margin over Wesley Burke. That's the prototype. You can see him there, but has done just about everything right tonight. Had a couple incidents out there on track. We've seen it. Gave up the lead to Reagan Carty after a spin there and some contact with some other cars here, but looks like he's taking this thing home here tonight. See him flashing the lights here. I'm pretty sure this race might be over for him. So I think he might have taken the checkered flag there. We'll have to wait and see. Going back to our GT3 field here, just taking a look. Yeah, it looks like what happened to Joshua Jackson there? Oh, Joshua Jackson has backed off quite a bit back behind there. But yeah, Hector Collazo coming back down for the last time here. Last couple of corners, 2 more corners. He's got 2 victories in the row. Last week at Daytona, this week here at Laguna Seca. Hector Collazo brings it home for the last time here. 2nd win of the season, 2 races in a row. Congrats to Hector.
Meanwhile, first race in, first race win. Severi Callio in the 1. Takes it home at Laguna Seca. Joshua Jackson with a spirited effort brings it home in P2 after the strategy call. And Matt O'Donohue is going to bring it home behind the first 2 into the podium places. So everybody's starting to burn it down. Everybody getting it together to try and sort out the rest of this podium. I believe Wesley Burke and Samuel Joseph finished off the GTP podium as well.
Yeah, well, that was an interesting race there, Jacob. I don't know what to make of the end there with those GT3s, the way that all transpired. But I guess we'll talk to them after we take a short commercial break. We're going to talk to our podium finishes here tonight, go over your unofficial race results. And, yeah, we will be back momentarily.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
We are back live at Laguna Seca Raceway. What an exciting finish we had for you folks here tonight, especially in the GT3 field. But the prototype winner here tonight, Sec 2 in a row, that'll be Hector Collazo, brings it home in first place. Wesley Burke with a strong finish in second, and Sammy Yosef rounds out your podium here tonight. We'll speak to him momentarily. Bill Mofield has a strong finish there in fourth. Jamie Lipke, P5. Reagan Carty, with a disappointing night, ends up retiring that car, P6. Brendan McDonald with another disappointing night, P7. Jason Kristen and Tyler Justice wrap up the last two positions in your prototype field.
And for the GT3, Severi Kallio on debut puts it in the top spot. Joshua Jackson with a close run for the win at the end. Matt O'Donohue, another first-timer coming home in that P3 spot to round out the podium. Timbo Parker made a challenge at the end, but he finishes P4th. Seth Lee on debut with a top 5. Timothy Williams in P6. Brock Price finishes P7. Eric Jordan in 8th. Chase Barkas ended up calling it a night early, but he comes home in 9th. Alexander Sexauer rounding out the top 10. Jacob Allingson in P11, and Brandon Ribeiro did not take the green flag.
All right, well, I guess it's time to talk to our race.
And came up to me, and I tried to see if I could defend it back on the inside, but I didn't realize how hot the tires were going to be. So I locked up again and then went straight on by, which was honestly my error. So I apologize if I if I made him poop his pants a little bit with that dive bomb. But yeah, and then he spun out again, which, not trying to hate on him, but I was really happy he did, because we were both a really equal pace. So if he had not spun out, this win probably would have been different. But yeah, happy
Well,
for the
both of us-
win.
Both
What
of
were
us
you
up here in the booth. Well, both of us up here in the booth. We're kind of hoping that you two would go at it. It seems like now that Reagan's got a little bit more competition out here this season, this seeing a little bit more mistakes from him here. So you definitely put some pressure on.
Yeah, I'll take the compliment. Especially with like only 20 minutes of practice, I did not expect to be competing against him. He was like probably like 3 times faster in practice, so I was like, I'll probably just take second place points and just take it out to the championship. But I'm happy to take the win. Congrats to whoever won GT3s. I was watching them battle on, I think, with 2 to go, so it was a pretty nice thing to watch after leading for so much laps. So
Yeah, that definitely was crazy. Well, who do you have to thank to get you this win here tonight?
I gotta thank our sponsors here. Let me yeah, I gotta thank Lincoln Tech, Safe 22, Indian Department of Veteran Affairs, InVets, ATYL. Sorry about that. And yeah, shout out to my spotter who was helping me out as well. Zachary Trevino helped me out with some stuff. So really thankful for him helping me out there.
Well, look forward to seeing you at Road America next week. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
That was Hector Collazo, our prototype winner here for tonight.
And I am standing by with our GT3 winner for tonight. On debut, Severi Kallio Severi Kallio, this is Jake Lenke in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, you certainly had an eventful race. Not as eventful as I would say the guys that you're running against, but first time out, you put it on the top spot of the podium. Take us through it.
Yeah, I tried to run clean, which I think I did. I got some off tracks. Obviously had issues on lap 16 with Alexander. There was a miscommunication of what happened, but very clean driving, and like the car number is number one, so we are number one.
Yes, indeed. Number one put on the top step. However, I do have a question. As you and Joshua Jackson were having that drag race, Matt O'Donoghue had a penalty, and you chose to go through. And I don't know if you were pushing him past to get ahead, or if he was trying to like pull you along with it. Are you two having some communication between you two, or is it all just separate for the sake of competition?
It's separate. I don't know him personally. He drives a different team. I do know what team he drives for, but we haven't communicated before this. He had a better run off of the last corner, so I thought like, oh, I'm gonna get past uh, the Porsche. I had to push my way through basically. So it was the winning move in the end. So props
Yes.
to Matt. Matt kind of helped me to get the win.
Yep, and that put you first time out on the top step. Who do you have to thank for putting you on the podium, sir?
We have to thank Lincoln Tech, Save 22, and the title sponsor MK Fire Designs and Z Graphics, and Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, Invets and Altul.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
and I gotta thank TVR for inviting me to race, and you guys obviously for hosting the race. It was great fun. Thank
Yes,
you guys.
sir. We appreciate you putting on a great show for us. Thank you for your time. Congrats on the win. We'll see you at Road America, sir.
Yeah, thanks. See ya.
Well, that was our winner for the GT3 series. As I try to do something here, I'm kind of there. It goes. Finally unstuck. I had a little bit of technical difficulty there, but I guess we'll bring in Wesley Burke, our second place driver in the prototype field. Wesley Burke, Ken Huber in the booth. Do you have a copy? Wesley, you got a copy out there?
Yep, I gotcha.
There you go. So, hey, you showed up, ran some prototypes here tonight at Laguna Seca, ended up on the podium. Talk about your run here tonight.
Yeah, I was pretty happy about that. I don't run prototypes much. This is only my probably around my 10th time running prototype race. Only second in GOR. So I did. This is the only series until now that I have ran and not got a podium in. So changed that now. So got a podium in every series that I've ran in. So happy about that. You know, pretty early on, you could tell that I was going to be by myself most of the race. So just kept my head down, tried to place down some decent laps. I ran my fastest lap. Like the second half of the race felt really good. First half was kind of eh. I spun once. Only got a 2x the whole race. So that's good. Usually I have a bunch, which is not. Usually I have a lot of off tracks. But
Yeah, you certainly did a great job out there tonight. You did what you needed to do, and congrats on your first podium in the sports car series. And since you got it, I guess now you can thank your sponsors and whatnot for getting you this second place here on the road course series.
yeah, I'd love to thank Jim Printing of Motions, MK Fire Design, Zach Graphics, being the title sponsor of the series, U Up and V Speed, Alexander PCs, Cruising Classics, and GTR Simulators.
All right. Well, we'll hopefully see you next week. You got any plans for being at Road America next week?
No, I'll probably be working next week.
All right. Well, we'll see you when we see you, I guess, as they say. Congrats on that P2 spot.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
All right. That was Wesley Burke. our
And I'm
second place
standing.
in. Oh, sorry.
All good. I am standing by with our second place finisher for the GT3s, Joshua Jackson. This is Jake Linky in the booth. You got a copy? Joshua Jackson. This is Jake Linky in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we skip him for now, and we'll bring in O'Donohue there.
Matt O'Donohue. This is Jake Linky in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
How's it going?
Well, we had a great show, and I'm I'm honestly a little nervous to ask how you thought your race went tonight, sir. You had a lot of ups and downs.
Nah, I mean, positive to take from it, negative to take from it, obviously. I mean, I got lost in the pit lane. I didn't have a single pit lane entry before this, and then had no idea where to go, which wasn't a good start. And then a couple incidents cost me probably the race win. I felt like I was comfortably the fastest out there, and when I needed to put the pace down, I could, but just couldn't convert. And strategy prevails. So congrats to the winner for sure.
Yep, we saw you putting it down, and even though you were missing a majority of your downforce at the end of that first run, you were still lapping a significant amount faster than at least most of the GT3s. Severi was catching a little bit toward the end of that first run, but you were still putting it down there. Do you have a lot of experience on Laguna Seca?
No, first time ever racing around here. So hopefully, as the season goes on, there's some tracks that I know I can put down some more pace. So yeah.
All right. Well, way to battle back from the issues that you did have. Congratulations on finishing on the podium. Who do you have to thank for putting you up there?
I'd love to shout out the sponsors of the series. So MK5 Designs, SimMotion, Harpoon Designs, Zap Graphics. I'd like to shout out Sam, Yosef for getting me into the league, and then shout out my team Angler Racing and Itamar.
Yes, sir. You put on a great show tonight. Congrats on the podium. We will see you at Road America.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
You as well, sir.
All right.
All right,
Well, I
Ken.
guess it's time to bring up Sammy Yosef. Sammy Yosef, Ken Huber in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Hey, Ken.
Hey, you pulled down another podium here tonight. I have a couple questions for you here, but talk about the start of your night here. Kind of, there was all kinds of things happening out there on the track. How'd your night go?
Yeah, this wasn't my track at all. It's not really on the official schedule for iRacing, so really had to figure out my own setup, and it just wasn't the track for me. I don't think the GTP really likes the tight corners and whatnot. It's a great GT3 track, but yeah, GTP wasn't really my thing, so I definitely struggled tonight.
Yeah, a lot of the prototypes were out there struggling. You weren't the only one. Pretty much everybody struggled. Even our race winners had their issues out tonight. But I want to talk to you towards the end of that race there because it looks like your car was just a handful. And I'm curious, did you take tires on your pit stop? Because I don't know, it seemed like you were going towards the end of the race, just constantly couldn't keep it on the track.
Yeah, I took tires. I was kind of bored out there. Rayan essentially left. He had his incident, and then I inherited third place, and I really wasn't having a battle. So I got around those GT3s, and I had a couple teammates up there fighting for a win. So I was like, let me just stick around here for a little bit and watch it. And yeah, I guess since I wasn't running at the correct speed for the car, my tires went instantly cold, and I was just struggling from there.
All right. Well, who do you have to thank for getting you a third place finish tonight?
Yeah, definitely got to thank iRacing, SimMotion, Harpoon Designs. Love those guys. Zach Graphics, and our sponsor of the series, MK Fire Design. Want to give a shout out to TWR, and also want to give a shout out to Matt who P3'd today. Glad to have somebody else that I race with here from Angler Racing in the series.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week at Road America.
See you, Ken.
All right. Well, that was Sammy Yosef. So, and these guys are playing with their names out here. They're Jacob. So there's too many Jacobs apparently in Goat Locker Racing now. So that's why I have some struggles occasionally. So, why don't you talk? Let's see if we got our third place, Joshua Jackson here. And I'm not seeing Jacob Lemke now. So there we go. There's Jacob. Jacob, you got a copy?
Joshua Jackson, this is Jake Linky in the booth. You got a copy?
I have a copy finally. I couldn't hear y'all at first for some reason.
Okay, good. So we have a question that we want to ask you because Ken was fixated on this after that pit cycle happened. We weren't sure how you ended up getting in the inheriting the lead off of the pit cycle. I know it had something to do with a faster pit stop. You're faster on pit lane and faster in the box. Ken is convinced that you didn't take tires. Is that true?
That is true. I did not take tires. I never take tires on
Oh,
the 1 hour races.
see, you think 10 races in before this one that we would, that at least I would remember that. But I guess that is going to be a footnote for next week at Road America. You put on a heck of a run, and you were like, despite the issues that were happening to the other cars, like fighting up in the front of the GT3s, you had that lead for a majority of that second run, and you put on a great show for us. Did you think you had it at the end, or were the tires just too far gone with those two catching?
No, I definitely think that I still had it. Just ran into an issue where one of the drivers still wanted to race with a black flag, and I think that ultimately messed up everything for me. I think if he would have, cleared it earlier, I probably would have had a chance at defending. But with the other guy, I can't remember his name, but with the other guy getting that draft off of him going down the front straight, there was no way I could have defended it like that. But if the other dude wasn't in the picture, I might have. I knew that guy was about 4 to 5 tenths faster a lap. So it'd have been tough, but I think I would have managed if I would have played my cards right.
Yep. And drop races notwithstanding, you have definitely put yourself a lot closer to Austin Cobb in the point standings with this result tonight. Do you think you're going to have it by the end of this season?
I'm not sure. Austin is dangerously fast everywhere he goes. So the only thing that I can do is hope something happens mid race somewhere else and just try to be as consistent as I possibly can.
Yes, sir. As I say, consistency is key. Who do you have to thank for putting you on the podium, sir?
I want to thank Jam Printing and Promotions, MK Fire Design and Zach Graphics, V Speed, Alexander PCs, Cruising Classics, GTR Simulators, and all of my friends and family that support me.
Yes, sir. Everybody is important in putting all this together. Thank you for your time. Congrats on the podium. We'll see you at Road America.
Thank you, sir. Y'all have a good one.
Take care.
Well, we got through our interviews somehow there, Jacob. Next week, we're headed to Road America. Actually, a little bit more green out there. It should be a lot of fun watching these guys and a track that really lends itself to multi-class racing.
Yes, a lot more turns and twists that we'll be able to see these cars go around and battle between each other, with the lap traffic playing a big factor there as well.
Yeah, and we've only got 4 more races left on the season, so we'll go to Road America, then we'll go to Texas, COTA, and then Indy, which I'm kind of looking forward to. And I can't believe we're going to do 2 hours at Indy. There you see it, the schedule there on your screen. But we're going to do 2 hours at Indy, and then we're going to wrap everything up at Watkins Glen. And it's been a great season. We're coming off a 2-week break, so you have to forgive us for some of the defaults we had here tonight on the broadcast. But we'll have it back together for you here next week at Road America. Looking forward to it tomorrow. And then, of course, or next week. But then, of course, tomorrow, we've got some more racing on tap. We got the Premier Next Gen Series right here on V Speed at the same time. So, Jacob, you got any closing thoughts?
No, I do not. It's heating up in the GT3s, and I think tonight might have started a turnaround for the GTPs as well. Reagan Carty has any more finishes like he had tonight, we might see a battle all the way to the end.
Yeah, it's been a pretty epic series so far, and can't looking forward to these last 4 races of the season. But with that said, I guess we should close up shop, and it's been great out here. But yeah, on behalf of myself, Jacob Linke, Bobby Bender on production, and then Dougie Beards on camera, man, it's been exciting to present this race with you all here tonight. Look forward to seeing everybody here next week at Road America. So